America's farms are in crisis, and the world is turning away. For decades, we fed the globe. Now, buyers are ditching us for Canada. This isn't a blip, it's a seismic shift costing billions. Today, we'll reveal the 5 U.S. states hit hardest, agricultural giants losing their biggest customers. We dug deep to uncover why it's not just prices, but a total loss of trust in American farming. From water shortages to questionable practices, the world's message is clear. They don't trust us anymore. We'll break down why California, Iowa, Texas, Florida, and Nebraska are on the front lines of this disaster. Let's get into it. First up, California, the state that once fed the world. For decades, the Golden State was the beating heart of global agriculture, producing nearly half of America's fruits, vegetables, and nuts. Its sun-drenched valleys and innovative irrigation systems made it a symbol of abundance, a place where food seemed to grow effortlessly, and prosperity was a way of life. But today, that legacy is crumbling. Once a multi-billion-dollar agricultural empire, California's fields are now barren, thanks to relentless drought and unpredictable water rules. Rivers that once nourished entire regions have slowed to a trickle, and the land that once flourished is now scarred by dust and uncertainty. The state's water crisis has become a slow-moving disaster, leaving entire communities on edge. Imagine investing millions in orchards, only to have your water cut by 75% overnight. That's reality for thousands of farmers. Generations of family businesses are now teetering on the brink, forced to rip out trees they once planted with hope. The emotional toll is immense. Farmers watch their life's work wither away, powerless against forces beyond their control. International buyers can't risk contracts on a maybe. They're turning to Canada, where water is stable and regulations are clear. In a world where food security is more important than ever, reliability is everything. Canada's vast, well-managed farmland is now the new gold standard for global buyers seeking certainty. California's chaos isn't just about water. Regulatory confusion and rising costs make it a high-risk gamble. Farmers face a maze of shifting policies, endless paperwork, and mounting fees. Every season brings new rules, new taxes, and new headaches, making it nearly impossible to plan for the future or invest with confidence. Meanwhile, Canada is seizing the moment, offering long-term contracts and reliability. Their government works hand-in-hand with farmers, ensuring that policies are transparent and support is consistent. This stability is attracting a wave of international investment, as buyers look for partners they can trust for decades to come. Billions in export deals are shifting north, as California's promise of consistency is broken. The numbers tell the story. Canadian exports are soaring, while California's once mighty output is in free fall. The global marketplace is moving on, and the economic consequences for California are staggering. The world's trust is gone, and Canada is cleaning up. International buyers who once flocked to California are now forging new relationships north of the border. The shift is reshaping the global food supply chain, with Canada emerging as the new leader in agricultural exports. For every tech boom headline, there's a silent story of a family farm losing a 50-year contract. Generations of hard work and tradition are being erased, as families pack up and leave the land they've called home for decades. The human cost of this collapse is heartbreaking, and it's happening quietly, far from the spotlight. California's agricultural dominance is collapsing, and the world is voting with its wallet. The state that once set the standard for farming innovation is now struggling to keep up, as buyers and investors look elsewhere for stability and growth. Once invincible, California is now a cautionary tale, a stark reminder that even the mightiest can fall when nature, policy, and economics collide. Next, Iowa, the corn and soybean powerhouse. For generations, this state has been the beating heart of American agriculture, its endless fields feeding not just the nation, but the world. Iowa's identity is built on its rich, fertile soil and the relentless work ethic of its farmers, who have turned the land into a symbol of abundance and prosperity. For decades, Iowa was the gold standard. Its farms were the envy of the world, setting records for yields and efficiency. The state's agricultural success was a point of pride, a testament to innovation and hard work. But now, that reputation is under attack for one reason: sustainability. Environmental concerns are casting a long shadow over Iowa's legacy. Headlines question the future of its farming, and protests echo the demand for change. Global buyers want eco-friendly crops, not just high yields. Today's consumers are more informed and demanding than ever, scrutinizing where their food comes from and how it's grown. They want assurance that their choices aren't harming the planet. Iowa's industrial farming, heavy chemicals, monocultures, no longer fits the bill. The world is moving away from practices that deplete the soil and pollute waterways. Canada saw this coming and acted early. They invested in sustainable practices, no-till farming, cover crops, and precision agriculture. These methods protect the land, conserve water, and reduce emissions, making Canadian crops more attractive to buyers who care about the environment. Buyers want sustainably sourced labels, not just bushels. These labels are more than marketing. They're a promise to consumers that their food choices support a healthier planet. Major food companies are shifting contracts to Canada, not for price, but for brand safety. They know their customers are watching, and they can't afford to be associated with unsustainable practices. Iowa's farmers can't pivot overnight. New equipment, new methods, and a whole new mindset are required. The transition is daunting, especially for those who have spent decades perfecting the old ways, and lower yields at first. Without support, they're stuck. Many face financial uncertainty, unsure if they can afford the changes needed to survive in this new era. Meanwhile, Canada's all in on green farming, backed by government and aggressive marketing. Their leaders are investing in farmers, providing incentives and education to make the shift possible. Iowa's old model is losing ground. The once bustling fields are now dotted with signs of struggle. Outdated equipment, fallow land, and uncertainty about the future. The world wants sustainability, and Canada delivers. International demand is shifting, and the market is rewarding those who adapt. Contracts for millions of tons are rerouted north. Canadian grain is filling ships once loaded with Iowa's harvest, and the economic impact is being felt across the Midwest. Iowa's message: evolve or become irrelevant. The choice is stark: adapt to the new demands, or watch as opportunity slips away. The trust in Iowa's way of farming is gone. Buyers are looking elsewhere, and the state's reputation is on the line. Canada read the future, and is eating Iowa's lunch. Their farmers are thriving, their exports booming, and their story is one of adaptation and success. The heartland must adapt, or risk being left behind. The world is changing, and only those willing to change with it will survive. Now Texas, once a global icon for cattle and cotton. Today, international buyers demand traceability and transparency. Texas's fragmented cattle system can't deliver a full animal history, but Canada's national ID system can. When food safety is on the line, buyers choose Canada's guarantee over Texas's mystery. Texas cotton faces similar doubts. Global brands want sustainable, ethical fibers, but Texas's image is water-hungry and chemical-heavy. Canada doesn't grow cotton, but dominates in hemp and flax, marketed as greener, better alternatives. Fashion brands are switching to Canadian fibers, leaving Texas behind. The world now demands data, not just reputation. Texas's old ways can't compete. Generational ranchers and cotton farmers are losing contracts to Canada's superior system. The swagger is gone, replaced by uncertainty and a desperate need to rebuild trust. Texas's agricultural identity is at a crossroads. Adapt or be outpaced by Canada's transparency. Florida, once the king of orange juice, is in crisis. Citrus greening disease has decimated groves, slashing orange production by over 75%. Global buyers face shortages, unpredictable quality, and soaring prices. They can't rely on Florida anymore. Canada doesn't grow oranges, but it's winning by processing and supplying alternative juices. Beverage companies now source citrus from Brazil and Mexico, but process it in Canada's advanced, reliable facilities. Canadian companies innovate with new juice blends, berries, apples, cranberries, changing breakfast tables worldwide. Florida's inability to solve citrus greening has shattered trust. The iconic orange juice brand is fading, replaced by Canada's stable, innovative supply. Buyers want reliability, not nostalgia. Canada is redefining the juice market while Florida fights a losing battle. The world has moved on. Finally, Nebraska, the Cornhusker state, once a symbol of reliability and agricultural might. For generations, Nebraska's golden fields and endless rows of corn have fed not just America, but the world. Its farmers have been the backbone of rural prosperity, and its grain trains a lifeline to global markets. But today, Nebraska's aging infrastructure is showing its cracks. Roads that once carried harvests to market are now riddled with potholes and in desperate need of repair. Railways, once the pride of the Midwest, are now congested and outdated, causing freight to back up for miles. Even the mighty river systems, once a superhighway for grain, are choked by old locks and unpredictable water levels. These delays don't just slow shipments, they erode the trust Nebraska spent decades building. International buyers who depend on precise delivery schedules can't afford to gamble on unpredictable transit times. Every delay means missed contracts, lost profits, and a growing sense of frustration. For Nebraska's grain handlers and exporters, these delays are more than an inconvenience. They're a financial disaster. Millions of dollars are lost as shipments sit idle, and global supply chains are thrown into chaos. Meanwhile, just north of the border, Canada has taken a different path. Billions have been invested in state-of-the-art ports, high-speed railways, and efficient logistics hubs. Canadian grain now moves swiftly from prairie to port, reaching Asian markets faster and more reliably than ever before. The result? International buyers are shifting their contracts north, rerouting grain deals to Saskatchewan and Alberta, where delivery is not just promised, but proven. Canadian farmers are reaping the rewards of a system built for the future. Nebraska's farmers still grow some of the world's best crops, pouring their hearts into every harvest. But no matter how hard they work, the system that should support them is letting them down, leaving their grain stranded and their futures uncertain. In the end, global buyers aren't just purchasing grain, they're buying reliability. The world's trust isn't in the farmer alone, it's in the ability to deliver, on time, every time. While Canada has built a superhighway for its grain, America's heartland is stuck in a traffic jam of its own making. The contrast is stark, and the consequences are real. It's not just grain at stake. Nebraska's beef industry too is feeling the pinch. Refrigerated shipments can't risk getting caught in U.S. bottlenecks, threatening the state's reputation for quality meat. The failure to invest in infrastructure is costing America its agricultural edge. Each year, the gap widens, and the world takes notice. Nebraska's yields remain high, but business is slipping away, lost to Canada's relentless efficiency and modern approach. The world is watching, and it's taking the new road north, leaving Nebraska's grain train behind. EV powerhouse states, California, Iowa, Texas, Florida, Nebraska, are losing the world's trust. This isn't just lost contracts, it's a threat to America's identity as the world's farmer. Water shortages, sustainability, broken supply chains, and lack of transparency have driven buyers away. Canada is capitalizing, building the reliable, sustainable system global markets demand. If we don't act, America's agricultural dominance could vanish. How can the U.S. regain trust? Investment in infrastructure, sustainable farming, radical transparency? Share your ideas in the comments. And if you found this video insightful, hit subscribe. We're just getting started.